When I was studying to become an English language teacher, we were told we had to buy some of these 1950s mathematics kits. These were for teaching children mathematics, because each of these blocks, this represents 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 10, and you can represent, visually in these blocks what's going on with the maths for children to understand. So it's really good. But what we used them for was, demonstrating concepts like under, and the red block is under the brown block. Also teaches the colours as well. We could say we could say something like the red block cannot escape, or we could say the red block can only escape by going towards the green block. See, so we can teach all sorts of prepositions and positional things, but you can teach loads of other things as well. You can make them into little people. You can do lots of things with them. Give me the apple and all this sort of thing. Which apple? The green apple. Is the green apple bigger than the red apple? So that's why I've got these. Never used them. So there you are. But what we're doing today is, I thought I would show you the exponential idea, because it doesn't matter how many times you know about it, you never really get it into your head how deep it works, because we're just not wired for it. We just don't think that way as humans. This fellow is the only one that can understand it, so he's going to be useful in a minute, as is BEAD Bunny. That's you and me. We're BEAD Bunny. But the robot, he is the brutal mathematics. He's going to look after BEAD Bunny though later, because we can mathematics can look after us if we use it to our advantage. So what I did, I thought, let's take one of these and let's just double it every day. That's day 1, day 2. Okay, and that's 4, isn't it, there? Day 3. How many days do you think it is before I need another box of these? Just have a quick guess. How many days do you think before I need another box of these? Well, I can tell you it's halfway through day 8. Halfway through day 8, I need a whole entire box of these. That's 366 blocks in this box. So I will need that after day 8. Remember, we started with just this one. We went from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8. Day 8, whole box. When do you think I need 10 boxes? At what day? Have a quick guess. Okay, that's halfway through day number 10. Halfway through day number 10, we need 10 boxes. So at day 10, we've got through 1 box of these a day, even though we started with just 1. See, so it just doesn't wire into our heads, this. And at what point do you think we need a billion of these boxes? Well, it'll be a couple of days into the next month, so it'll be just over a month that we will need a billion of these boxes, and about 4 days after that we'll need 10 billion. So there's your exponential. Now, the exponential works in many ways. You've been hearing about it with like the multiplying of cases, but it also works with the virus itself. If you get a little virus particle coming into your lung, or into your eye, or into your nose, that little virus particle is going to come to one of your cells. It's going to inject its DNA into your cells, its RNA, and it's going to make that cell into a little virus factory, because it's a retrovirus. And I'm just going to say, let's say for the sake of argument, that this little let's say that this little virus cell doubles, it creates one such little factory every half hour. Let's say it creates, so after half an hour you got two viruses, which are also two factories in effect. And let's say that after an hour you've got 4. Okay, and after 2 hours, how many are you going to have after 2 hours? Not 8. You're going to have 16. Right? Exponential. Because I added an hour that time, not half an hour. Right. So you didn't catch that, did you? Okay. Now then, at what point am I saturated with these? Have I got just a ridiculous number of these virus cells? Well, we can go back to our table here, and we can say that after 10 half hours, which is 5 hours, we've got 2,000 of them. After 10 hours, we've got 1,258,512 of them. Okay. Now these are not the actual numbers, I just made them up. But it doesn't matter, because the point is, suppose someone coughs on you, and they cough on you with 1,000 particles. Then you're going to be starting here. Here. And after 10 hours, that's the 9th hour on this chart. So after 10 hours, let's go to 19. Sorry, not 19, 29. After 10 hours, here's what you've got, 6 billion. So you can see why it's important that you don't start here. You want to start here. If you're going to get exposed to the virus, you want to start with just a few. And there is where the masks come in. So let's imagine, here's BEAD Bunny. Let's imagine that BEAD Bunny has no mask on. And let's imagine that these are the viruses. And somebody walking along and they cough on BEAD Bunny. Okay, let's do it again. And let's have him in a mask, so it's just one particle. Let's have him in a mask again. And again. Okay, and he didn't even fall over as quick, did he? Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to try putting a mask on BEAD Bunny that's going to give him 80% protection. It's the 80% protection, as long as the mask doesn't fall over. And we're going to throw some of these viruses at him. I've got about 10 here in my hand I'm going to throw at BEAD Bunny. I'm going to throw them here like this. We'll look at the result afterwards. Look, he's still standing. In fact, not one particle got through. Now those holes do definitely represent 20% of the surface there of where I was throwing it. So, we're using mathematics to help us. It's only 80%, but it's better than nothing. And even if just one particle there got through, BEAD Bunny's here. And after 10 hours, he's got 1,200,000. He's not got the 6 billion we're talking about. Do you see how much of a difference that could make to BEAD Bunny? Now I want you to think of the masks and the goggles in another way, as a whole suit of armour. As a whole suit of armour, because we're using mathematics to our advantage. That's why robot represents the suit of armour. Because robot is our rational mind. Forget about what it feels like, what you believe, the fact that you can't see this thing. Trust me, it's real. The robot represents the whole kit. Everything. The masks, the goggles, everything. Everything. Okay, see, it's wobbling a bit. But it soon recovers. The virus dies eventually if you don't touch it. This is what I want you to do. Look, there's even a particle stuck there, but it's not touching BEAD Bunny. And even if it was, he'd only be at the top of the chart there. He'd only be at number 1 with one particle. He'd still have a good chance of fighting off this virus. Look, another one's got through. So what? So what? Oh, look. Robot's actually deposited the particles on his own. So eventually they've come off the mask on their own. and he's still holding Bead Bunny firm. So I want you to be like Bead Bunny